Hey y'all, hey, welcome to Beaufort, St. Lucia. Let's listen to a few of the sounds. Today we're going to explore Beaufort. Up that hill I'm about to show you is the wellness center. It's where you can go for checkups and a bunch of stuff provided by the government, and it was one of the first testing centers for COVID. We're walking down Clark Street. Clark Street is the main street in Beaufort. Beaufort is the town at the southern end of the island. For a lot of people, it's where they go to do their shopping and that sort of thing. It's early in the morning, so you can see a lot of the shops are still closed and there aren't many people on the street. Also, this area of town does not get as many people as the top of town. When I was growing up, this used to be like the hub, the central hub of Clark Street, and down towards the end of it that we're walking is not as busy as it used to be. So you can see that there are people out and about. We are in the middle of the fourth and biggest, deadliest COVID wave right now. So that's another reason why you won't see as many people out. In case you didn't know it, this is what a bus looks like, public transportation. They're minivans and they're privately owned but regulated by the government. And that's what we take to get around, those of us who can't afford a car or can't drive. At the end of the street in the far distance, that's the fisheries complex. It's where the fishermen hold their boats and they have access to ice and other resources for marketing their fish, storing their fish, whatever else they do. I haven't been there in a really long time. Some of the stores down here have been here for quite a while. T-shirt Plaza has been operational probably for almost 30 years at this point, y'all. I want to go to this salon. My aunt has been talking about it. It's a natural hair salon and I need to go. You can see in that street corner that this building kind of has been fallen down. I don't know, don't ask me details. I don't think I've been down here since 2019. It's kind of a bit of a walk for me. I remember when I was a child, like this used to be where all the shops were. But it probably happens in a lot of towns that a lot of buildings end up run down. Right now, I'm only in this area of town because I have to go to the post office to mail off these packages, and the post office closest to my home doesn't do the type of mail I want to do, and I would have to pay more to send the packages, so I have to come down here to the post office. Oh hey, we're hitting the ball, come on. So I'm just gonna let you look at the stores until we get to the post office. As we turn the corner, you're about to see the Beaufort Roman Catholic Church. I can't tell you anything about it except that's where we had my high school graduation because our auditorium was falling apart. We'll get another look at the church on my way back. But let's keep looking around that store right there. That is where my mom yelled at someone over the fit of my shoe because I have long skinny toes and she wanted my mom to buy a shoe that was kind of loose in the front, and my mom was like, hell no. Back in the 80s, there was still the idea from slavery that you wear whatever shoe you had as a child, and it didn't matter if you were comfortable. But my mom was not about to make me be uncomfortable in shoes. We're almost there, y'all. That's the post office. See you on the next side. I did it, y'all. Packages in the mail, tracking numbers in my bag, and we're going to head back up past where we started. So I like when I'm in town to walk on the side of the street with shade. So you'll see me cross the street into the shade quite a few times. Now, somewhere around here is a market. I've never been, because I just can't be bothered to walk the extra steps. But a lot of the time you'll find people there selling fresh fruits and vegetables and other stuff. But all along the side of the road, you'll also find people selling fresh fruits and vegetables, coconuts, and that kind of stuff. And I'm about to buy some lemons, y'all. How much for the lemon? 5 You want for 5? I wanted some lemons so I could make hummus. And look at her trying to choose the nicest one for me. I love buying stuff from the vendors. Sometimes they're actually the farmers, and that is so cool. It's like a farmer's market, but just everywhere. I'm about to walk past the church again, but I love the old wooden building on the other side. They're from a colonial era, but I still really like them. How they look, I think they're really super cool. And I'm just walking along another building that kind of used to be and isn't really anymore. It's just boarded up. We're heading back towards Clark Street, that main street I told you about before. Now, this is not an area of St. Lucia that a lot of tourists see. You won't see any tourists walking around. All you'll see is people of color. And we're coming up to S&S. Back in the day, this store used to be J.Q. Charles. Oh, I'm buying something again. I'm getting some star anise, and you have a lovely view of plywood. Most of the vendors are women, and this is how they support their families. So I really think it's important for me to support them, and I buy from them whenever I can. S&S is a variety store. They have all sorts of stuff really cheap, kind of like a Dollar General, Dollar Tree. And I'm going to do a haul video, so I'm not sure if I uploaded it already by the time you see this, but there's definitely gonna be a haul video, so if you haven't seen it, watch out for it. I'm done with my shopping, well, this area, and we're going to walk back up to Clark Street and head back up towards the top of town. And we're crossing over to the shade side of the road if we can. Hurry. And I'm just going to look at some stuff in some of the stores. I haven't been in stores in forever. I don't know when next I'll be back here though. You might notice all the colorful buildings. That's a thing here. We like color. When I went to the US, the not colorful buildings was a real culture shock for me. A classmate of mine works in this store and they have some really cool stuff. I'm just asking her the prices, and a lot of stores put what they have out on the sidewalk so people can see what they have. I noticed they do the same in Puerto Rico as well. Let me know, comment down below if they do the same where you live, if stores put stuff out on the sidewalk so they can catch that passing trade. They pulled me in with the baby shoes. How much is it? 30? I have to check his size. He only and they have red too. He only he has 8 months. How cute are those tiny little shoes. I want to get shoes for my godson. He's starting to stand up and walk a little bit. Not today though. We got other stuff to do today. Let's head back out and head up the street. Oh, what a lovely view of the sidewalk and the gutter. Look at that seafoam green drawer container thingy. I want it. And I'm definitely gonna come back and get that shoe rack. I kind of regret not getting it. I've wanted one for a while. Now we're heading up. We're about to go past the point where the video started, so things might seem familiar to you or maybe not. At this point, I was seriously distracted by these colorful scarves, but you know what, I just had to keep going. Got a lot to do today. And this walk from the post office back up to where I need to do most of my stuff and also where I can catch the bus home is quite a walk. It must be at least half a mile, if not more. You might be wondering what language you heard those people talking in the beginning of the video. It is Creole. It's a mixture of West African languages and French, and it's kind of what the slave had to do to survive and to be able to communicate without their masters knowing what they were talking about. Now at this point, for some reason, I stopped recording, but I realized I wasn't recording, so you get more views of kind of the inside of Green Supermarket, one of the oldest supermarkets in this part of the country. I decided to skip it completely. I just was already running out of energy and still had a few stops to make. This town serves a large portion of rural St. Lucia. There's another church. We just passed another church. And also you'll notice that this town commercial buildings are intermixed with people's houses, which is not the same for Castries, which is where I've done most of my other videos. In the center of town in Castries, it's just businesses, just commercial. There are even some buildings in Beaufort where there's a business on the bottom and people living on the top. You're also getting a good view of the different kinds of cars that are popular here, what people can afford. A lot of people import their cars from Japan, and cars get sold over and over quite a lot. Even though right now we have a lot more cars on the road than when I was younger. We're heading up towards the town square. I don't know if you remember my video in Castries where I showed you Derek Walcott Square in the center of Castries. This square is called Independence Square and it was recently refurbished, so it's nice and shiny. You can see as I'm coming back that there's a little more people around than when I went down because it's getting to be a little later in the day. You can see that the shops are open. We're about to get a pretty good view of the square coming up. I'm just gonna let you enjoy that for a while. Oh look, it's the police. You might notice that a lot of the police vans here are pickup trucks. That's so the police can get into the rural communities that might not have the best of roads. They hold events in the square like music festivals and other rallies and that kind of stuff sometimes. I haven't been in a while. Across from the square there's this other church, and language point in St. Lucia we say opposite. In the US they say across from. So if you say opposite in the US, people do not know what you're talking about, and if you say across from in St. Lucia, people do not know what you're talking about. It's the subtleties of the English language. I never understand why people argue about phrasing. Is it because they don't realize that phrasing is regional, or is it because they want to say that their phrasing is better? We're starting to see vendors again. On a Friday and a Saturday, these streets will be lined normally with vendors. It might be because I'm filming on a Tuesday that there aren't as many as usual. Some of the stores around here have changed completely. Like this hair store across the street right there, you can kind of see it. That used to be a hair store and now it's a clothing store. I did not know that. So we're about to go through one of the back roads because otherwise I would have to walk all the way around, and I'm about to cut through. And you'll see there normally are quite a few vendors in this area, but there's also a bus stop right there, more like a bus depot, so you'll see a lot of buses parked, and there's quite a few little shops back here as well. I'm about to go even more off-road from a back road to a back alley unpaved, and quite a few people cut across here. It's a shortcut to get from Clark Street, which is like a big commercial center, and over to New Dock Road, which has a shopping center and banks and is like another central commercial area. Normally when I come to town, that's where I go because I just get my groceries, go to the bank if I have to. Normally anything I can't get done up there, I don't get done because my bus stop is really close there. And as you can see, this is quite a long walk. Like I didn't cut out that much of the video, so it takes me a good 15 minutes to walk, because remember, if you don't know and you're new here, I have fibromyalgia. So we're about to get to the top, to New Dock Road. This is the eastern entrance of Beaufort town where things start, and this is where I'm going to leave you with a view of the shopping center, and I'm gonna say bye for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.